Well, hello there, lads. We are back. We're going to be doing the finale, okay? This is it. We will be finding out who the best Targaryen is in this video. Or not this video, this live stream. All I'm going to say is I've been kind of disappointed with you guys. I can't lie. You know, we've made some questionable choices in this bracket. Let me scroll down so we can get to where we actually are. Just as a recap, you know, we've got Dany versus Visenya, and I guess I don't even know what you would call this. How many matches do we still have? I guess is this like the quarterfinals? I don't know. But Visenya versus Dany. We have Aemon the Dragon Knight versus Aegon the Conqueror. We have Jaehaerys, and we're gonna be figuring out this bottom portion, but we will be figuring out the rest of the bracket. Hi Evie, how are you? How was your day? And before we get into all the nonsense, let's just talk about what we did today. What as you guys are coming in, let me know what you guys did. You know, did you have a good Monday, good productive Monday? It was it was a good day today, you know. In my opinion, right? I got some good things done. Little project that you guys will be seeing. It's not on my channel, but you guys will be seeing it. You know, it was a good time. It was a good time recording it. Got my walk in today, so that, you know, that's all good. And yeah, just doing some things. You know, got some editing done. Got tomorrow's video done. I still gotta look at the what should I say? I still gotta look at the thumbnail because I got a crash course today by the voice of Old Town, or as you guys may also know him, House of the Stag. But you know that's been changed, so we won't mention that name. But gained some valuable knowledge. Hi Matthew, how are you? How was your day? What'd you do today? You do some work today? What'd you do? I'm gonna enjoy my first Monday off in months from work. We'll love to see it. What did you do on your day off? You just have a chill pill? What'd you do? You do anything interesting? I will say also, the last like 3 days of my life, I've been working a lot, but I've been consuming a Feast for Crows at an alarming rate. An alarming rate. I'm already, hold on, let's see what page I'm on. I am on page 164, and I started reading on Friday. So, you know, there's that. It's Canadian Thanksgiving. Well, a happy Thanksgiving to all of the Canadians. Also, Matthew, I can't like you today because my fantasy team is in a real rough spot. Okay, we're only up by like 20-ish points, I think. And Devontae Adams still has to play for your team. And so does, I believe, I think it's your Packers defense or the Raiders defense that you have. I need them to just, like, shit the bed. So, yeah, hopefully Devontae Adams doesn't play. He's, like, very questionable right now. We'll see what happens. Caught up on some reading and TV shows. Love to see it. Sounds like a fun day. I've been kind of considering if I'm going to do a series on reviewing A Feast for Crows because, you know, I'm rereading it just because here's the weirdest part, right? Because I'm doing a reread of the main series, but I'm doing it in such a slow way that it's like I don't want to read Clash because I'm going to be eventually, you know, restarting the reread with Clash and probably like I think probably in like April of next year, we'll probably start Clash. And so I don't want to read Clash again for that. So I decided we'll read Feast, right? It'll help get the creative juices flowing, right? Like 2 videos coming out this week are literally just ideas I got from reading Feast. And so it's always the best way, I think, for me of making content is just reading more Song of Ice and Fire, listening to like a really in-depth podcast, History of Westeros. The amount of ideas I've gotten just off of like maybe backhand comments they mentioned but they didn't explore, or things like that. I've really enjoyed them for sparking my own creative interest. Lost by less than 1.5 points yesterday. That is unfortunate. That'd be heartbreaking. I am hopefully trying to win to go 5-0. I don't think so. For the Grease Goblin Fantasy Football League, dating back to last year, I have not lost a game in our leagues, basically, up to this date, right? Like I've gone like flawless. The only thing they're gonna shit is in your team's face. Matthew, do me a solid, okay? I'm down bad. The Patriots are really bad right now, okay? Just do me a solid. Hi, Ghost. How are you? I just kicked my Xbox controller that's underneath my desk. But yeah, so, okay. Let's get into it, right? So for the first matchup, we have Rhaegar and Aemon. And I'm going to be honest. I just got done doing my John 5, like reread notes, editing, and all that. And it's our first introduction to Aemon. And in Aemon's first chapter, he literally has more depth and more character that we know of than Rhaegar. So, I don't know. I mean, I guess if you go off of like... hold on. You guys don't need to see that on the stream. But if you guys go off of who is, I guess, more impactful to the story, you can maybe argue Rhaegar. But like, I don't know. I like Aemon way more. He's more compelling. But I'll put it in here. We probably won't get through this first one for a little while, just, you know, for as people coming in. Always like to wait a long time on the first poll, but I'll put it in there just as people are coming in. Oh, the great voice of Old Town has blessed us with his appearance once again. Aemon better win against Rhaegar. Just saying. I'm trying. I'm trying. I appreciate. I just got done telling stream. So, you know, there may be a project that may be going up on the Voice of Old Town's channel. So, you know, if you're not subscribed, you might as well be, because you don't want to miss it. Okay, first of all. And second, the man gave me an entire crash course on thumbnail making, which is much needed. So I started working a little bit on that. By the way, that's why I messaged you those Discord messages. But I started working. I got one. I got one. I think it looks solid. I don't know. House Blackfire #1. They are pretty cool. I can't lie. Love to see that you're enjoying your day off. It seems like a lot of you guys having days off on Monday. Very interesting. I'm gonna vote for Rhaegar since that green trader wants Aemon to win. You know, that's fair. That's fair. I can't hate on that. I can't hate on, you know, just going against the greens. You know, it's a solid opinion. There's something I'm blanking on. There's something I'm blanking on that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Okay. This is it. Here we go. So, I work at a grocery store, okay? And if you are one of these people, I genuinely despise you. So, on Sunday, okay, so I was working my shift, and we close at 8 p.m., okay? You might think, okay, that's kind of closing early. But when you're in, like, a small town area, there's not really a point to be open past, like, that. Like, I think even 8 o'clock, like, we could close at 7 and get away with it. But it's like 8 o'clock, and it's the same customers. They know when you close. And I swear, these people will walk in when they know you're closing and will just shop around at a slow pace. And will just, like, it just genuinely frustrates me. Because so many people have that mentality, especially with social media, is like, the world revolves around you. It's like, no. That's my mini rant. That's my mini rant about people that just frustrate me in this world. It's the final countdown. Yes, it is, Haley. And honestly, in my opinion, you guys goofed up this bracket like this early. Like by the third stream, I was already like, yeah, this is wrong. So, you know, we're gonna get through it. All right. Aemon's one of my favorite male Targaryens. I cried when he died in the books. Oh, that's a spoiler. Oh, okay, Evie, you just spoiled everything. I'm joking. Which is rare for me because I don't cry a lot when reading or watching something. Yeah, I feel like when I was younger, I never like cried or anything, but like, especially with like movies and books. But as I've gotten older, I've become a bit more emotional. Like, for instance, so the Red Wedding chapter, I always talk about this because this is my favorite example, is a chapter that I can only read in certain, I guess, moods. Like, I have to be mentally prepared to read it. Like, the first time I actually read the Red Wedding, like in the books, I teared up a little bit. I can't lie. You know, I can't lie. I did. Matthew, I'm glad that you asked this question You got a costume planned for Halloween going for Mulligan, or are you gonna dress up? Okay, so I'll give you guys a little sneak peek. Little sneak peek. This is for the stream, you know, supporters. Give me a second. Does this answer your question? I have other stuff that goes with this, but like this is the helmet sign. I hope that answers your question. I also had a mini like panic attack doing that because like I put my glasses down and put the helmet on and I literally like I just couldn't find where my glasses were. True Damon question. No, Damon should be out of this already, Agor. He should be out of this already. Rhaenyra should have won. Thank you, Haley. Thank you. Damn, is that from George I showed you earlier? Yes. Yes, I had that made right after you sent me that meme. After you showed me that picture. I feel Daenerys is the best Targaryen. I get why you think that. But you're wrong. I'm joking. Daenerys is pretty good, but... And we know the most about Daenerys out of a lot of the characters, but... I don't know. In 2021 Halloween, I went as a Night's Watch show. That's pretty cool. I think I want to go... Next year, I'm either going to go as Jon Snow or Robb. And the problem is, it's like, for me, I am someone that I don't particularly look like any characters in A Song of Ice and Fire because it's like, my hair is really black. And it's like, so I fit the Baratheons, like their hair color, the eyes, and all that. But I'm not tall. I'm not like super overbearing, muscular. So it doesn't really fit. Like, I don't have that presence. And so it's like, okay, I can go with Robb from the show because Richard Madden has black hair and stuff like that. I can just do that, but I don't know. And then Jon, it's like, if I did Jon, I feel like I'd have to get a wig. I just don't have like, I don't have the, or I'd have to grow my hair out or something. I don't know. She is the only one that has a POV. Yeah, I mean, it's a valid point. I mean, I'm just like, I don't know. I'm like a really big Dany fan in the first book, but then, and like maybe even Storm, but then the other like 3 books, I'm just like, eh. I only dressed up for Halloween once, and it was Jon Snow. Okay, well, that decides it. I can't copy you. I have to be Robb. I've got to be Robb. Robb is my favorite anyway. I mean, Stannis is my real favorite, but I can't really pull off Stannis. I'm a goblin. Oh, dear. Damon Blackfire forever? Maybe. I think you're holding on to the past too much, Agora. You know, I think we should talk about it because I think you're going through some stuff. All right, so let's move on. Well, hold on. How close is it? Oh, it's close. It's close, and it keeps getting closer. The longer I let it go, it keeps... I'm gonna let this go for... When it hits on my computer 524, I'm gonna end it, but it keeps getting closer, so I'm gonna let it go for a little while. Okay, it just hit 524. We're gonna go 525. We're gonna go 1 more minute. So again, if you want this vote to be switched, or you want Aemon to win, you better get your vote in. That's all I'm gonna say. Let me know what you guys have dressed up for Halloween as. You know, Halloween's such a weird holiday for me because I grew up as a kid. I really enjoyed Halloween. It was my favorite holiday. And then as I got older, and it's like, you don't really go trick-or-treating anymore. It kind of slipped towards like, I didn't really like it that much anymore. And then now, so my new friend group, okay, I shouldn't say my new friend group, but I should say as newer people have come into my life as I've gotten older, we started actually like doing stuff for Halloween and doing dress-ups and stuff. And I really enjoyed it. Last year I did Darth Maul. For people that don't know, I had my whole face was painted. I still had the really long beard. And it was interesting. I liked the costume and all that. I have the lightsaber that I used. It was a really low quality lightsaber. It literally, like, the screws aren't good enough to keep the actual lightsaber blade intact, so I can't actually, like, you know, I can only really, like, keep it straight up without, like, the end falling off. And yeah, but the makeup was so difficult to take off because it was just so many layers of like black paint and then red. I literally looked like I was someone that was going through like a very emo phase. Like I had like dark eyeliner, it looked like, and stuff. It was a whole scenario. I'm gonna dress up as a soldier because that's my job when Halloween comes. Fair enough. Aemon is a wise man who gave great advice. Rhaegar was obsessed with prophecy and got a whole bunch of people killed for really not a good reason. Aemon 100% for me. I can agree with that sentiment, Casper. Now, I will say, if, you know, Jon becomes this Azor Ahai figure, and he is, we're confirmed that he is Rhaegar's, you can maybe kind of rationalize and justify what Rhaegar did, but he still could have done it in a much better way. So, I don't know. All right, we're going to move on. Aemon is going to move on to, I think, my relief. You know, unfortunate for Rhaegar. You know, he should have not been such a prick, and maybe we would have been okay. All right, moving on, we have Rhaenys. This is the wife of the Conqueror. This is not the Rhaenys from Hot D, so, you know, keep that in mind. And this is going to be, I'm just going to put Rhaenys 1, so you just to kind of clarify. Or Daemon the Rogue Prince. I feel like this one's not really that close. I'm going to keep it 100%. I don't think this one's going to be close. As much as I like Rhaenys, like, she is... Oh, I spelled that wrong. As much as Rhaenys is, like, I really like her. But, I don't know, Daemon is such a more complex character. We know a lot more about him, I feel like. I don't know. I would be bittersweet for Halloween, but don't have purple eyes, nor muscular enough, and definitely not angry enough. Yeah, that's fair enough. Aegor would be a cool one, though. Oh, dude, okay, so I have a friend that, like, he kind of gives me, like, Aegor vibe. Is Aegor really tall? I don't remember if Aegor is tall, but, like, based on the fan art, like, the fan art that you have as your profile picture, Aegor, I have a friend that kind of has the long, like, hair like that, and he kind of has, like, the facial hair like that. That'd be someone be good to dress up as that. I'm dressing up as an anime character from One Piece for Halloween. Okay, that's what. Okay, what is One Piece about? Because I've heard, like, you know, some YouTubers I watch, they talk about it and stuff. I don't know what it's about though. I'm also not like a big anime person either. So, but you know, what's it about? Jon was born already going to be born. If Rhaegar was honest, then maybe nobody would have died. Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair take, Casper. Aemon was always right and got nobody killed. You know, I can't really think of any time he is really wrong, so I'll go with that, Casper. Lucky, yeah. I think the only thing with my friend that would be different is that, like, he's not as, like, my friend is someone that has a lot of muscle, but it's like he's not like very toned, right? So it's like, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. An amazing anime, yes, but what is it about, Matthew? The most interesting thing about Rhaenys is the mystery surrounding the Dornish letter, Daemon, all the way. Yeah, I agree. I think something else I kind of do find interesting now, just based on, again, this idea came to me because of, like, History of Westeros. They're doing a reread of Fire and Blood. And so that video I made last week talking about Aegon not being able to have children, I think it's very interesting the way Rhaenys and Aegon's relationship worked, but yeah, again, we didn't see, like, any of those kids from that early time. It's very, like, interesting because you think about, you know, the way we talk about when you become, like, a teenager, you become, you know, older, there's that stigma that, you know, we're all horny, you know, whatever. And it's kind of weird that, like, that never seems to have materialized with Aegon and Rhaenys until way later. I don't know. It's a weird thing. It's a pirate anime about crew called the Straw Hats trying to find the treasure called One Piece. Interesting. Okay. I have never watched One Piece, so I can't give an opinion either way, but, you know, you guys can debate it as much as you want in the comments if you'd like. But yeah, the only anime experience I really have is, like, the Pokemon anime. I watched that when I was a bit younger. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I've got. I mean, I know my dad kind of likes anime. I see him have it on every once in a while, but I don't know. I don't know. It's not for me, I don't think, but I respect it. It's just, I don't know. But we'll see. But Daemon, I think for me, Daemon, I'm trying to think of what my top 5 Targaryens are. I think for me, it'd probably be the ones that I find the most interesting and fascinating, my personal favorites. This is not, like, the best. This is the most fascinating, or the characters I enjoy the most. Probably would be Rhaenyra, Maegor. Ooh, would I put Aegon the Conqueror in there? I don't know. I don't know if I would. I think Baelor Breakspear would be in there for me, and probably Blood Raven. I think those would be some of the people I'd have up there. Damon would be around there though. Yu-Gi-Oh! I had a really weird phase where I was into like the card game a little bit, but I was never into the anime, no. Nowadays, I just wear a mask and carry an accessory like a fake knife or an... Yeah, that always works. I mean, I think Halloween is one of those weird things where it's like, you either like put a bunch of time into it and it looks really good, or you kind of do something that it's like, you know, it's just an easy costume that you can do. I think the worst thing is when you're a middle ground where it's like you put a, you know, a little bit of effort into it, but it doesn't come out right. And so it's like, you know, that's to me the worst part is like, I don't know. Because I'm somebody that goes pretty all out for Halloween. Like I show you guys the helmet. That's something my friend made for me. I've got a whole like black face covering, and then I've got like a robe, and then I have like an under thing that's like a choir robe. I have the Nazgul gauntlets. Actually, I'll show you guys the Nazgul gauntlets here. Give me a second. Eventually, when I get this, like a shelving for this, I'm going to have this with the Witch King, but I have like these. And then I have like my sword, and then I've got, I think that's all I got. Yeah. But yeah, and also I will be doing a stream where I put the whole costume on for you guys, but it won't be for that long because I can't actually I can't really wear it and actually like see chat, or because it makes me take my glasses off, so I can't see already. And there's a black like face mask over me, so it's like I really can't see. But this might be off topic, but do you have any theories about how Brienne will save Jaime from Lady Stoneheart? So I think what's going to end up happening for me, Simon, is I personally think that Stoneheart's going to use Jaime, and then it was wanting to kill him. So what I think is going to happen is Jaime's going to be very vital in getting Stoneheart either some men into this Frey wedding. And then what I see happening and how I think the Stoneheart plot probably will conclude is that she's going to die one way or the other for me. It just makes the most sense, right? Unless, you know, George is planning for Brienne or Jaime to die at this, I think it makes sense that Stoneheart dies. Now, for me personally, I really like the idea of Arya giving mercy to her mother. I think it can do so many things for her arc as a character and really create an interesting moment with Arya. And so I think what ends up happening is that Arya is kind of the catalyst for the character that kind of drives forward that plot. So that now, you know, once Stoneheart is, you know, freed and all this, and Jaime's done whatever, I think he just escapes. I think Brienne helps him escape. At that point, it'd be much easier to do. And I think Jaime has a couple options. I think for me personally, he's going to go to King's Landing. I think for me, that's where I see him going. I'd really like to see, you know, him and Cersei have one last interaction. Maybe that is because he is the person that kills Cersei. I like that. I don't know. I think that is kind of where I see that going. I kind of want to be a Jedi, but don't have money for a costume right now. So, Haley, I think the best thing you could do if you wanted to do a costume and you wanted it to be somewhat cheap, because this is basically what my friend group did last year, as we had a Star Wars theme. You can kind of find like an outer robe that is kind of pretty cheap, like maybe $20. I don't know how much you'd want to spend on a costume if you were going to at all, but you can get that, and then maybe wear like some, depending on what like type of Jedi you're trying to be, just like wear like a brown shirt or a black shirt underneath, and then just like whatever kind of pants, and then you can just get like a toy lightsaber. Like, you know, like you don't have to go out. Like I have an actual like light up like blade and stuff, and it was like $50-$60, but I don't know. That's what you could do, Haley. Like, and that's good enough, right? Like some of my friends did that too, but I do have a blade. It's not like it's not really a Nazgul blade. It's more like, it's kind of described as like a dark sorcerer like blade, but yeah, I have that, and I'm gonna reuse that for my costume next year. It was a complete wipeout for Rainey's. Yes. Do you like handing out candy? So Violet, I really haven't been home the last couple Halloweens when candy's been being handed out, so my parents have mostly done it. But hold on. I personally don't. I don't like constantly going to the door, and I'm also someone where I'm like, I don't know really like how much candy to give them, right? Like, because it's one of those things where it's like, if you run out of candy, you're kind of in a bad spot. But if you're given too like less of candy, it's just like I don't know, right? Like, I think something that my parents have started doing. I don't know if I know they did this one year, is like basically having like candy bags. Like you are like, it's not them picking candy out of your bowl. Like they already have like a little candy bag. It'd be like if you're in like a younger class or something. Like back in like, again, this is an American thing. I don't know if this is worldwide, but you used to have like little parties when you were younger, and it would be like that. You get a little like gift bag. That's kind of what my parents I think have been doing. But it's so weird because it's like if you have a bunch of more kids this year than you had last year, it's just a whole ordeal. I don't blame people at all that just kind of put candy out on their like their table or something. I don't blame them at all. Do you think that Robb Stark is the real bastard of Winterfell and not Jon Snow? Personally, no. I don't think so. But yeah, Haley, like you don't have to go full out, right? Like you can. I mean, again, it's just a preference, right? If if you want to do that, but. Oh, you already have. So Haley, yeah, the lightsaber is the most expensive part when you're doing a Jedi like costume, right? Like my Darth Maul lightsaber that I ended up getting was $60, and it was pretty low quality. Like I said, like it doesn't work out that well. I reread the last Brienne chapter, and I'm thinking about that Thoros would desert from the Brotherhood and help them somehow. Yeah, I can see that as well. I think this is another thing, right? This Revenge Red Wedding is, in my opinion, going to be basically an atrocity. I think this is something that, me and Voice of Old Town talked about in a Winds of Winter video. I don't remember if that actually came out. That might have been one of the ones we got corrupted, but something we talked about was like this Revenge Red Wedding is gonna be like horrifying. Like it's people being brutally butchered. It's something that I don't think people are going to stomach, right? Like, I think people like Thoros could say, yeah, this is wrong. This is not what we're supposed to be doing. Your anxiety is getting the best of you. Well, I don't know. I mean, see, this is the thing, but I'm saying that, but like, it doesn't affect me that much. It's one of those things where I just be like, we run out, but it's like, whatever. My mom made me hand them out because she was worried about that too. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair enough. All right, so let's move on. We've kind of been lingering on this for a while. All right, Daemon is going to win, and we're finishing this by tonight. So we gotta kind of like, we gotta get through some stuff. All right, Bloodraven versus Alysanne. Man, that's a tough one because, in my opinion, Bloodraven is again in probably my top 5, but Alysanne is like also around there as well. Like she's just someone that was very progressive and someone that just bettered Westeros for women, like, and just was the best queen possible. So that's a tough one. I'm just gonna put Allie down here because I don't feel like typing out her name. Hi Jesse, how are you? Hi Ander, how are you? Bloodraven is basically a god. Bloodraven do be a god. I can't argue with that. Boo, Bloodraven, Aegor, you knew it was bound to happen. You knew it was bound to happen. That Bloodraven was going to be on here, okay? I understand there's some tension between the two of you, but it can be worked out with therapy, okay? You took his eye out, and, he killed your king and his sons and more sons, and yeah, it can be worked out. I have my tea as well, so, that's things we love to see. I've done a lot of talking today, and even my tea. Screw Bloodraven ruined everything at the Battle of Redgrass Field. No comment. I don't want to be tried for treason. As we know, Bloodraven kind of has eyes everywhere. Do you wish George R. Martin would kill off more POVs because he recently revived Catelyn? That's a difficult question. If you're talking about killing off more POVs in like Feast and for like the dance, it's kind of difficult to do because he made up so many. I think the better idea would be, are you glad he added more POVs? Because the problem is you can't like add in Aeron, for instance, and then like instantly kill him off. Like he has to have some relevance as to why he became a POV. Now he looks like he's going to die now in Winds of Winter, but like how do you kill him off when he just got brought into it? You know, that's tough. Arya Hoda, right? He is someone that I wouldn't mind getting killed off because he's very much a character that just is like there just so we can like look into Duran, right? And he's not a very interesting character in my opinion. So again, he's someone that also is probably going to die in Winds of Winter. So again, the tougher question is like, should we have gotten all these new plot lines? Like, should we have gone and explored Dorne and, you know, the Iron Islands and more of the Riverlands and all that? And so to me, it's one of those things where, do you wish the story had expanded or kept its main central characters and been a little bit more focused? I think that's really how I would look at that question. Maybe A Song of Ice and Fire was the Blood Raven we met along the way. Every A Song of Ice and Fire theory ever. Hey, if you make a theory and Blood Raven's not in it, is it really a theory? That's, you know, I'm just saying. God. Do you recall what happened to Shiera? Oh, God. No comment. When did Bittersteel get kicked out of this bracket? I don't know if was Bittersteel even in this bracket. Oh yeah, he was. He got defeated by Rhaegar. Here's Bloodraven out here competing for the whole thing, and here's Bittersteel. Oh no. Oh no. I'm sorry, Aegor. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. I didn't do it. You can't blame me. You can't blame me. I didn't vote. We just needed one Dorne POV. Why the hell does Eris Okard have a POV? I think that's a valid question. I don't think we need Eris as a POV. I kind of agree with that sentiment, Ander. I think we could have just had Ariane. Like, my thing is, honestly, I don't even know if we really needed Arya Hoda as a POV. Like, you could have just had it to where you had, like, all the Sand Snakes kind of talking with Duran, with just Ariane as the POV. Like, it didn't really, in my opinion, need to have Arya Hoda, but I don't know. I don't know. That's a whole different thing. Listen, everyone is mad because Bloodraven did the smart thing. You know, maybe. Bloody Brendan Rivers broke a guess right. He did do that. He did do that. Alicent was part of the #1 Targaryen power couple monarchs in Targaryen history. I agree. Abolished the first night. Some people weren't happy about it, but, you know, it's a good thing. You know, did some things, made women's issues more of a central theme during this period. They got, you know, more, I don't know how to say more because they still don't have a lot of rights and things, but, you know, we took some steps. Bloodraven went beyond the wall. Some things Alicent was scared of. It wasn't Alicent, okay? It was her dragon, okay? It was her dragon. Wow, disgraceful chat. Hey, it's just what happens. I wonder if Bittersteel ever kept any ties with the Braggons. He is a bastard branch of them. I mean, maybe. Maybe. Boo. This is outrageous. It's unfair. How can someone be on the council and not be a master? Anakin Skywalker. Revenge of the Sith. There you go. Arya Hoda would only be a cool POE if a Dornish civil war broke out, but we don't have time for that yet. It's so weird because Arya Hoda is like Victarion in a way of like he's just a really great fighter, and you'd like to see him fighting, but Arya Hoda doesn't do any of that. Like he just stands there constantly. It's like you just gotta, I don't know. It would be cool if we had a book or show about Bloodraven. Some fella in the chat known as Voice of Old Town agrees with you on that. Made King's Landing water, not mud, and Knights. Man, there's a lot of hate going around on Bloodraven, but I mean, at the same time, like, he won. So, like, I don't know. I don't know. Bloodraven's moving on. And he's facing Daemon the Rogue Prince. Okay, all right. Oh, okay, so we have the female powerhouses of House Targaryen. We have, in one corner, Dany, the Song of Ice and Fire Queen, one of the fan favorites, versus Visenya Targaryen, one of the most mysterious Targaryens in history. Was she doing sorcery? Did she have some dark magic and created Maegor? Yeah. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say. Show would be cool because that we could see Bittersteel and see him take his eye. Fair enough. Bloodraven has plot armor? Maybe. Maybe. Do you think George R. R. Martin rewrote The Winds of Winter after the show ended because he had an old statement saying... So, I think that George R. R. Martin has rewritten parts of Winds of Winter multiple times. He's talked about this a lot, that, you know, he'll read something back and he'll be like, this doesn't make any sense, rewrite it. That's kind of the, I think, the issue with having a Gardner style is that, you know, as you go on, right, you think about things, you're like, wait a minute, this doesn't really make sense with what I want to do, and you have to go back and rewrite. So I would say, yeah, I would say, you know, the show also helped that, right? George could have seen, you know, maybe how the show played out and said, yeah, I don't really want to do that just based on, you know, things that happened, but I don't know. Why did George R. R. Martin want to force everyone to like the Blackwoods? He made them my most hated house. It is true. Like, we do get a lot of like, oh yeah, you should sympathize with the Blackwoods. All of their people are really nice and cool. And then the Brackens, it's like, they're all disgusting. They all suck. They're all power hungry and things like that. Evie, what queen are you going to pick? The Dany or Visenya? I know for me, I'd pick Visenya. If you want my honest opinion, I would pick a Visenya right now. I think I like Visenya much more than I like Dany, but maybe it's because like Visenya has more intrigue. She's more mysterious. She's someone I want to learn more about. Like, there's just, I don't know, there's so many like holes in her history where it's like, you know, what was she actually doing? What was she actually thinking, right? Like, you know, I don't know. Your finger slipped. Who did you vote for, Ander? You accidentally chose Dany. Oh, that's no good. And since we're, you know, getting pretty deep into this, it's time to talk about our weekly football. My Patriots, as you guys know, I'm a Patriot fan for the football people. They have scored 3 points in 2 games. 3 points. 3 points. They got beat 34-0 by the Saints, who hadn't scored 20 points in a game yet. So, you know, this is just my acknowledgement that the Patriots are going to be just awful this year. We're tanking for hopefully Caleb Williams. Maybe we even trade back. Who knows? And we look to next season because this season's over. It's over. It's all falling apart. The fantasy team, you know, they're chugging along. We need Matthew's team to actually get pooped on and just do nothing, which is great. And lastly, for my football fans in the chat, I don't know how many of them you are. Who's winning tonight, the Packers or the Raiders? They're both kind of like, I'd say the Packers have the edge, but like it's not that far. It kind of feels like, the Packers might be like average team, and the Raiders are like a little below average. So I don't know. I just want to see a good primetime game. All the primetime games have been bad. Just all of them. The Blackwoods are the foreign invaders unless the Blackwoods settle in the Riverlands before the Andal landing. That's fair, Matthew. I picked Visenya. Love to see that, Evie. No Kingsguard without Visenya. That's completely correct. Also, Visenya having, you know, them big old balls to actually like scratch Aegon, kind of crazy. A mommy Visenya. Oh boy, I hate both those teams. I don't mind them. I used to hate the Packers more because of Aaron Rodgers. I just don't like Aaron Rodgers. But now I'm like, I'm cool with him. I like Jordan Love. I think he has a cool story. I hope he does well. I do like Jimmy G. You know, I can't lie. Jimmy G, you know, he was a Pats QB and stuff, but you know, I like him. I like him. Dany, my queen, my breaker of chains. Love some Visenya a lot, but Dany is changing everything and is my prophecy baby, so she has my support. Fair enough. Dany is the best. Okay. Okay. We'd love to see it. We love to see that Dany support. Sometimes I think that I've brainwashed too many of you that you're like, Dany's just okay. You know, I like to see that we have that support for Dany. Okay. This is close. I'm pretty sure this is one vote separating it. I'm going to let this go till 5:52. So about 1 more minute. So if you are in the chat right now and you're like, wait a minute, why is, Dany winning? Or why is Visenya winning? Or whatever. Vote. This is your shot. I don't want to hear no complaints at the end of this when someone says, oh, Dany didn't win or Visenya didn't win. This is the time. This is the time. Her chapters are all right. See, Jesse, it's so weird because I think Dany's chapters in book 1 are very refreshing because when you have all of everything going on in Westeros and you get a ton of Ned, right? A ton of Ned and a ton of Catelyn. It is nice to go to Dany, and she has such a strong character arc in book 1. But then in book 2, it's a lot of she's wandering around. But then you get the House of the Undying at the end, which is one of the best chapters in all of A Song of Ice and Fire. And then, Storm comes, and Storm is pretty good, right? She has a ton of great chapters in that book. She also has some chapters in that book. And then Dance, it's so weird. Because it's she has some great chapters here and there, but she also has a lot of stinker chapters, in my opinion. So she's a character for me that's very hard to judge on how good is she actually. She is boring, but the best. I wouldn't say she's boring. I think some of her chapters can be, but I do like a decent amount of her chapters. I think she has some very strong ones. I completely forgot about the time nodes, and I was totally confused for a second. Yeah, my bad. I think that Visenya and Range are the only one, are the only that got away with telling Aegon what to do. You are correct. Just saying, one conquered a lot more of Westeros than the other. Fair enough. House Blackwood is just wannabe Starks. You're not wrong. Her last chapter was a stinker for sure. Yeah. She was drinking the poop water. Agreed. Found that book 2, Dany, was very boring. I found it's not brand boring, but it wasn't my cup of tea. It's about her squatting in the grass, groaning. Oh no. But yeah, I think for Clash, right? I think a lot of the reasons why it's not a lot of people's favorite book is I think because of Dany's plotline. Just generally. By the way, I'm gonna let Visenya go because I said 5:52 and it's already a minute past. But continuing on this Dany train, I think a lot of people really like Dany. So when you have Clash, and it's a really, I think a weird book for Dany. It's a very slow book for her. I think that's why a lot of people are kind of it's not the best. All right, so next one we have Aemon the Dragon Knight versus Aegon the Conqueror. That's a tough one. That for me, it's not a tough one because I prefer one of the time periods much more than I think the other. And also I just like Aegon more. He's such an interesting character, but so is Aemon. I don't know. I'm going to say that I would pick personally the Conqueror. He's more influential. You can read a lot into his character. We don't know a ton about Aemon the Dragon Knight, but I don't know. We'll see. Hate every Targaryen? You must be a maester. They do too. Don't worry. It is a little rough, Haley, I will say. It's a little, it's I don't know. Okay, so people in chat, right? I want to, because I mentioned this in the 2 videos. They're going to be coming out, I think, on Thursday and Friday. Do you guys think that you guys would like me to do basically a review of A Feast for Crows, and it would be about a 4-part series, and it'd be about every 200 pages of Feast for Crows, and I'd basically be doing a short review for every chapter. It would be very short. It wouldn't be like my Song of Ice and Fire rereads that I do, where it's an anywhere from 35 minutes to like an hour 15 per chapter. It'd probably be like, okay, you know, 5 minutes per chapter, go over kind of the themes and what this is trying to establish and stuff like that. And it would be like, again, 4 parts, go through, you know, a quarter of the book each one. Let me know if you guys would like that. I don't know if I want to do that or not. It would be a decent amount of work, but I don't know. Henry Cavill for sure, of course. I don't know enough about Aemon to care about him. I think the main interesting point with Aemon to me is his relationship with Nerys, and also how that kind of affects Aegon the Unworthy, and also the trickle down effect that has on, you know, the first Blackfire Rebellion. I think for me that's the most interesting part of Aemon. But again, you know, there's a lot of stuff we don't know about it. I think Aemon the Dragon Knight is someone that if we get Fire and Blood Part 2, is going to be one of the characters that I think will be impacted the most. Like, he will be the character that probably will have the highest, like, his popularity will grow in the community, I think. If George decides to give us more into him as a whole, which he probably will. Do it. Okay, Haley. All right. Love to see it. You mean Blood and Fire? Stop that. Stop that, Violet. I don't want to stop that. Just stop. No. House Blackfire. We get it. Aegor, you're just screaming. You're screaming on deaf ears right now. Okay, it's fine. Fancast for every Song of Ice and Fire character. Henry Cavill, Elizabeth. Yeah. I don't know enough actors. I don't know enough celebrities to, like, sometimes people come in and they want me to, like, who would I cast as Maegor? I don't know. I don't know enough people to cast Maegor. I just don't know. Like, I don't know. Daemon Blackfire's popularity should grow. Oh, yeah. He definitely should. Like, if we get more into what his personality was like, maybe more into what he was thinking, because we just don't know. We have to infer and guess what he was thinking in a lot of situations. So, I don't know. Remember, no Aegon means everyone else on this list as innocent. You know, that's true. They would just be sitting on Dragonstone still. I'm sick of Henry Cavill as a Targaryen. He's not Targaryen material. I kind of agree to a point. I think Henry Cavill would be a better Baratheon. Because, again, he has the darker hair. He's bigger. He's muscular. I don't see a lot of Targaryens as that. I think a lot of Targaryens, when I think of them, are more like that slender, like, they're still muscular, but they're not overbearing, right? That's kind of how I think of someone like Rhaegar. He could be Renly. Yeah, I could see that. He's actually not that good of an actor. I mean, I've barely seen anything he's in, right? Like, the main stuff that you look at him being in, like The Witcher, Superman, I don't really like DC outside of Batman, so I prefer if they cast unknown actors for these roles. I always say Henry Cavill is a young Robert Redford. Yeah, I think the Baratheons is just where I would go with him if he was cast in here. Okay, Aegon is winning. It is close. I will say, it's not that close. It's 63 to 37% with 19 votes already. Yeah, it's pretty, yeah, okay. So we're going to let Aegon win. Aegon seems like he was winning pretty easily. I'm happy about that. I like that Aegon won that. All right. That's interesting. Aegon versus Visenya. Okay. All right, moving on. We have Jaehaerys the First versus Aemon Targaryen, another Aemon. But this one is Maester Aemon. So Maester Aemon versus Jaehaerys. Again, another tough one. Because in my opinion, Jaehaerys is the best Targaryen king. I don't think that's a hot take or anything, but I think Aemon is a much more interesting character. So how do you rank this, right? Do you rank this off of who is more influential, who, you know, did more for the Targaryens, or do you do this off of who's just more interesting, right? Like, how do you guys vote on this? I think is going to be interesting. Feast is only about Cersei's descent into madness. You're not wrong. You aren't wrong. I think of them as kind of scary, otherworldly elves. Like, they're pretty, but in an alien way. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think that's a really good take, Violet. People forget that casting roles for a conquest / early Targaryen era would need multiple actors. They can't have the same actor portray a 20-year-old and a 60-year-old. Yeah, that's a great point, right? Especially, like, that's the other thing. It's like, when do you even start shows? Like, for instance, Aegon's Conquest, you could do so much before the actual conquest. You know, you could, for instance, right? You could have Aegon going to Old Town, you know, trying to figure out how to invade, how to make his plans and things like that. My vote isn't going through. I don't know why your vote would not be going through. Maybe try refreshing. I don't know why that would be happening. What if Jace lived and became king? Imagine a bastard, or yeah, northern girl as queen, and impossible. She's not just any bastard, she's the bastard of the Lord of Winterfell. If Jace had lived, a lot of things would be quite different. Given that, again, we're getting into some spoilers for House of the Dragon, so if you don't want spoilers, I guess stop watching. I don't know. But if Jace had lived, like, Jace was somebody that was really taking command for Rhaenyra, I think that camp would have gone much better. That's all I'm saying. If Jace was there to actually be there or do it, I don't know. Harris was an Old Town stooge. You know, you're right. It did now. Okay, love to see that. Who's the guy who plays? I think, yeah, I'm assuming you're saying PETA in the Hunger Games. I think he would be a good Aegon. I don't know. He has a very, I don't know if he's like, as he's gotten older, how he looks now, but he gives me very like baby face vibes. That's not really how I imagine Aegon, but I don't know. How many blood and lives would have been saved had Aemon taken the throne? Think of how many Jaehaerys saved by taking it. Yeah, I agree. Which Song of Ice and Fire characters do you think are mouth breathers? Pycelle. Who's another one? Thorne. I think Alistair Thorne is definitely a mouth breather. 100%. He has to be. There's another one. Another one's a mouth breather. Let me think. I want to think of one more example. I think that Crescent was a mouth breather. There we go. Harris was a bit boring to me. Aemon for the win. Yeah, I don't blame you on that. Fire and Blood, I think, again, the weak point was definitely Jaehaerys' reign. Rosby, yeah, I like that one. I think Jaehaerys was the best king, but I don't find him interesting just as kids and everything. He was pretty straightforward to me, but Aemon did a lot of things that most wouldn't and gave up a lot. I like that take, Violet. I really, that's my problem. Like, I genuinely, if I was in your guys' position, I don't know who I'd vote for here because, like, a certain part of me when I vote for these does vote on significance. Like, how important are they to the story? But another part of me also votes on, you know, their character. And I know people want me to do a Maester Aemon character analysis, which I will be doing at some point. It's on the list. I just have some other projects that I want to do. But yeah, I think Aemon is definitely a character that has more personality. And I think that's something that probably might carry him in this. Walder Frey? Nah, see, here's the thing. Walder Frey, in my opinion, maybe he, like, shows that he's a mouth breather, but I think in private he's not. You know, that's kind of the person Walder Frey kind of strikes me as. Aemon has my favorite quote / speech in all of A Song of Ice and Fire. What is honor? It's one of the best moments. So yeah, I don't blame you on that one. It's a good one. Aemon is just like, he's just wise. He's just so wise. And so I'm reading A Feast for Crows, and it's the, you know, the first Sam chapter. And when they're leaving, you know, Aemon has this line where he's like, you know, I can't wait to go back to this tavern that has, you know, cider. And it's kind of where we had with Pate in the opening chapter. And it's such a sad moment when you, like, reread it, because it's like, you know, he's not gonna make it there. It's just it's such a sad moment. I mean, how many personal trials by combat has Aemon won? You know, that's interesting. That's a good point. What do you study more in history, the wars or peacetime? Us humans love violence one way. That's a great point, Matthew. I mean, think about it. What do you study more? Like, for American history anyway, the Roaring 20s or World War II? Like, the main reason why we discuss like the Roaring 20s in America would be, okay, well, this is why the Great Depression happened. And that's why, so that's the thing that's like peacetime usually is not the big talking point. The big talking point of peacetime is how did it get to the point where it became a wartime? So, that's a great point. That's a great point, Matthew. It's a great point. Great point. All right. Eamon is winning pretty handedly, so we're not gonna just sit around and just, So Eamon wins over Jaharis. I like that. All right, last one we have on this round, and then we have what, our top 4? Yeah, top 4. So this is for the top 4. We have Daemon the Rogue Prince versus Bloodraven. Another tough one. I think this is another tough one. All right, Daemon versus Bloodraven. All right. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I probably would pick Bloodraven, but we'll see. Who do you think was Egg's Hand of the King? I don't think it was Dunk. No, I don't think it was Dunk either, Joel. It could have been, you think it might have been Raymond Fossaway? Honestly, Joel, I don't know. I don't have a good answer for you on that. Joel, I'll be completely honest. I think that's a decent shout on Raymond Fossaway. And, it's tough because, Aegon is someone that, or Egg, whatever, whatever. But he is someone that I definitely think would not have valued how political it is to make a Hand of the King, right? Like what is the significance of that? So, like, for instance, right, if you want to tie a house to you, you make them Hand of the King. You give them a ton of power. And that's something I don't think Aegon or Egg would have really considered too much, just because he wasn't really trying to appease a lot of the upper class. So I think someone like Raymond Fossaway, who, he's not very, like, has a ton of power, but I could definitely see that. I really don't know. Well, you gotta figure it out. Honestly, I have no idea about this one, and I love them both. Both of my murder babies too much. Well, it's gonna be tight. It's gonna be tight. So far, Bloodraven is winning. Daemon is close behind. So again, get your votes in if you want to see one win or the other. We will see. We will see. Show Daemon changed my opinion on his character, especially when he shows how much he cares for his brother. Okay. All right. I like that take. I like it. I think personally for me, I'd be the opposite. I think the show Daemon made me not like Daemon as much, but I agree. Hassan, I agree. I like that. I like that take as well. This is a tough one. They're both at 50-50. This is neck and neck. This is for top 4 in our greatest Targaryens. Top 4. We have come a long way. This is like, what, 6? This is episode, I think, 6 or 7 now of this. We've done at least 6 to 7 hours trying to figure out who the best Targaryen is. And as of right now, it looks like it's either going to be Aegon, Visenya, Aemon, or one of these two. Very interesting. Very interesting. I don't know. Again, if you're in the stream and you want one of these to win, you got to vote. You got to. Because I don't want to hear no complaining. I don't want no complaining at the end when someone's like, why didn't Daemon win? I'm like, well, this is why. This is why. Or I guess I should say, why didn't Bloodraven win? But I don't know. I couldn't not be a Stark Lannister. They would never support, or it couldn't. It could not. I don't. Are you trying to say it couldn't not be a Stark? Lannisters, they would never support Egg's reforms. Dorne is more. Eglo train, so it could have been a Martell. I mean, I don't know. I personally don't know, Joel, but I don't think it was a Stark. Personally, I don't think it was a Stark. I don't think it would have been a Martell. I do think it could have been someone just like in the crown ones, like a lower lord. I literally just did a mental list of everything we know they did, but I loved the battle above the God's Eye too much to not pick Daemon. That's fair. That's fair. That's a great take. That's a great take. I think this is my thing, right? I think I like Daemon more as a character. It comes back to the same idea as Jaehaerys and Aemon. I like Daemon more as a character, but Bloodraven's more impactful. In my opinion, he's like more of a person that has influenced events, probably. So I don't know. And I do like Bloodraven's dynamic. I think we'll probably get more of him in Fire and Blood Part 2. But as of right now, I think I'd be a Daemon guy. Couldn't be. Oh, okay, I get that. Okay, I get what you're saying now. Yeah, that makes sense. It definitely was not a Lannister. It wasn't. Given like what you just said, it probably was not a Lannister or a Tyrell, because those are especially two areas where they would not have kind of stood by and allowed Egg to make all of these reforms for the lower people, but probably Hassan, probably. It was probably someone who was just like, you know what, this guy seems like a really cool dude. Make him hand of the king. Why not? All right. I'm going to wait like 1 more minute, and then I am going to put it through. As of right now, it's for Daemon. So if you're anyone in the chat and you want Bloodraven, you better vote now. If not, we will go forward with Daemon, and we will go into our top 4. We will have Aegon versus Visenya next, so be thinking about that for people that have already voted. Think about who you want to go with. If you want to go for Aegon the Conqueror or his sister wife, Visenya. That's another tough one, honestly. That to me is a very tough one. I know who I'm going to vote. I would vote for. I won't say because I don't want to sway it too much, but interesting one. But yeah. That's all I'll say on that. That's all I'll say. Bit off topic, but Grease, what do you think about Sansa and the Vale for Winds and Dream? Do you think they'll be more involved with the others or with conflict in the South? So, in Winds of Winter, I will say neither. I think the Vale plot is going to actually take quite a bit to get through. I think there's a lot going on there. It's going to take multiple POVs to get through everything. But I think by the end of Winds of Winter, I think Sansa will, or at least be kind of in control of the Vale. I think she's going to be worried about stuff going on in the North. So I think for me, I think in Dream, the conflict with the others. But I don't know. Conflict in the South? Jesse, what's your reasoning? I'm just curious. If it wasn't for Visenya, Aegon wouldn't have enjoyed his time as king for long. I 100% agree with that. I like the Starks, but fans forget they are so despotic. The people of Winterstown, Ben the New, and Rob, and yeah, I definitely what you're talking about, Joel. But yeah, I don't know. The Starks to me I like them, right? But they're not my favorite. I'm still more of I like the Targaryens, I like the Baratheons. Starks are probably third. But I don't know. Wasn't Aegon not even on throne that much because he was traveling all over? Yeah, I mean, if you really think about Aegon's reign, he was someone that was almost constantly in warfare. It really, like, you have the conquest of Westeros, then you have the conquest of Dorne after he takes the throne. Like, he was someone that was very active. He wasn't someone that was like, for instance, Aerys, the Mad King. He was someone that stayed in King's Landing pretty much for the entire end of his reign after Duskendale. So, All right, we are at a stalemate. The next vote that either goes will be the winning vote, or I myself will have to dictate which this goes for. And that is something I don't want to do. Yeah, I really don't want to do that. So somebody vote. Somebody call their mom. And oh, there we go. Whoever voted, you're a blessed person. All right. Damon is winning. All the blame can now be put on the person that just voted. If you don't like the way this came or the way this went, not my fault. All right, Visenya versus Aegon. Visenya, like we talked about, you know, one of the best characters. I don't know how much I can say that anymore. And she is the last female on the list. So if you're trying to get that women power going, you know, just like Sansa did on our best A Song of Ice and Fire bracket, and she ended up winning. Spoiler, I guess. If you want to see the women take the throne once again, this is your chance. This is it. This is it. So, you know. Say the final round for another stream and somehow make it an hour long. Absolutely not. I mean, Andrew, I could. Don't get me wrong, I could. Yeah, this is how I would do it too, Andrew. You want to know how I would do it? I'd begin the stream, I'd put the poll up, and I would just leave it up the entire hour. And then I would go to some completely different thing. Like, I'd take the bracket off of the stream, okay? And I would just start talking about something else. We would just go into a whole different, like, topic, and then come back at the end and be like, oh, looks like somebody won. Whoever just voted, the Weirwood Net wants to know your location. As if the Weirwood Net doesn't already know their location. Andrew voted Visenya for girl power. Yeah, we love that. We love that girl power. We do like that. Aegon was a lot calmer than Visenya. Yeah, that's true. That's true. No Seven Kingdoms without Visenya. Yeah, but Evie, here's the thing. You could also say there's no Seven Kingdoms without Aegon. I'm just saying. I'm playing devil's advocate, Evie. You know. Okay, this needs to be done. This needs to be done. This is going to be. This is a very rare moment. Okay, because I don't do this very often. Hold on. Evie, you're being added as a moderator, and you want to know why you're being added as a moderator? Because there's not enough women reputation. No, that's not the word. There's not enough women presence in my moderators. And since Ashley is AFK, you are now a mod. Okay, do not abuse your powers, or else the mighty Matthew will come down on you. He actually can't even do anything to you, but like, you know. So, Evie, you are now officially a mod. I hope you enjoy your time as mod. And, yeah. I don't know. That's all I've got to say. Enjoy your power. Enjoy your power. Where's Ashley? I don't know. She's dead. She's dead. Hopefully she's not dead. Let's take that back for a second. Hopefully she is fine, but just having a busy life. For the end of the story, who would you rather have seated on the Iron Throne? Sansa or Bran? Maybe Sansa? I don't know. Those are terrible options. You can't do that to me, Matthew. It's awful. Simp. Here's the thing, right? At one point, you know, I was called out because I had no women mods, okay? So then I modded the first person, right? It was Glossy. For the people that know who Glossy is, that was a whole thing. She was the first female mod. And then she just faded out of existence. I don't know what happened, but she did. And then Ashley was given mod instead. And she is now faded out of existence. Does that mean Evie's going to fade out of existence? Possible. Hopefully not. It's possible. That would be Visenya win if she's not. Fair enough. Sansa. Okay. I can see a Dance of Dragons coming with that choice, Your Grace. Oh dear. Just think, which one has the better story? Sansa has the better story. If we're going off of the book, Sansa has the better story. Bran could actually be the king by the end. Yeah, I know. I just don't want it to happen. If it happens, it's got to be something where it's like the Children of the Forest have taken over and Blood Raven has infiltrated his mind and it's all fucked up, and that's the way that Bran works. But like, I still don't like it. I still don't want Bran to be king. Like, I don't know. Makes sense for Bran. The story started with him and it'll end with him. Like, yeah, but I'd even argue, like, did we even, like, was the first Bran POV even a Bran POV? It was really just Bran watching Ned and watching Robb and Jon get character development. I don't know. Sansa was supposed to be queen, so it comes full circle for her character. Okay, I like that. I like that. The question would be then, so if Sansa becomes queen, who is there a king involved? Like, does she have an heir, or are we going to like a voting system, like of who's going to become the next person in charge? Hold on. He has to be a tree monster if he's king by the end. That's the only way I'll accept it. Fair, see, right there, Violet, right there. Yeah, Joel Ares back in the day before he got all goofy, he had some interesting plans, right? Let's get some more, land in the north and build a new wall. Interesting idea. Would never have been able to be possible and was not going to happen, but interesting idea. Let's take the stepstones. Now, that was something that was possible, but also be very bloody, and I don't know if they could actually hold it. So he had some interesting ideas. Bran will marry Mira. Maybe. Ned will come back to life and become king since he was actually the POV. Maybe. I can see Bran being an immortal king. Okay. I like it. Yeah, Bran winning is Bloodraven winning. Who wants Bloodraven to win? Yeah, you're right. Hi, Maz. How are you? I, for one, welcome our new blood-hungry magic tree overlords. Dear God. All right. It looks like Aegon won, and it was not even close. That is unfortunate for Visenya. I thought that was going to be a bit closer. I would have agreed, by the way. I would have gone for Aegon the Conqueror, but, you still don't like to see it. All right, we now have Maester Aemon versus Daemon. That's another interesting one, because I really like both of these characters. I think for me, Daemon would win. Probably, but I don't know. Let's see. He was so flighty though. Ideas mean nothing if they can't. If they're so out there they can't do anything. Exactly. Vote Aemon, please. Maybe. Ares' plan to build a white marble city as a new capital is a great idea. Yeah, I think it was a great idea, right? Like, King's Landing, by the time we get to the main story, is just disgusting. It's not... It doesn't really give off the presence of being this great city of the Targaryens. It kind of feels like it's kind of gone to the shitters, right? Like, if it's like a city, right? If you know of a massive city that was once, like, really great, and now it's just like, there's maybe homeless people everywhere, or there's just trash everywhere, it's polluted, it's not safe anymore, there's a lot of crime. Like, that's kind of how I look at King's Landing. Yeah, like Chicago. That's a great example, Maz. I live in Illinois, so that's actually a fantastic example for me, because Chicago is a city that has their crime rate is insane. It's just not, yeah, that's a great example. Men would rather watch the world burn than have a woman win that poll. You might be onto something there. No begging in the chat? Well, you can do a little bit of begging. I'm okay with a little bit of begging. I work in Chicago? Wow. Matt, okay, this is what I find insane, right? So I did another video, and somebody basically said, like, they lived in Illinois, like, fairly close to me. I find that so wild, because, like, think about it, right? This channel has, what, 3,000 something subscribers, whatever. To find someone when there are billions of people in the world, right? And one of those people just happened to like a Song of Ice and Fire, find this channel on YouTube, and then be living fairly close to me is actually insane. Like Maz even working at, like, being in Chicago, that's not that far away from me. That's like like a couple hours. I think it's like 5 or 6 hours. I don't know. That's not crazy. Godbrand ending is the some end of Dune spoiler. Oh boy. I live in Wisconsin. We're neighbors. You love to see it, Haley. I don't think I've ever been to Wisconsin. I've been to Minnesota and I've been to Iowa, which are kind of close by, but I haven't been to Wisconsin. Ghosty, you also live in Chicago. Do we just have all of the Midwest people in here? Jesse, I have been to Iowa once. I did like Iowa when I was there for a very short amount of time, but yes, very small world. It is really like weird. That's the other thing is it's like I've even looked at like where most of my viewers are from, and most of my I'd say like most as in like the most of the numbers or whatever. Like 40% I think is from America, and then there's like another I think like 20% that are the UK. So it is kind of crazy. It is crazy to even think like 40% of the people that watch this channel are American, and then to be like somewhat near me is kind of crazy. I'm just going to say it. The Midwestern weather sucks. Okay? It is awful. Like, for me, right? I think it was like Friday was like a really nice day. Like it was, it was a little still warm, not too big of a wind. And then the weekend hit, and now it's like, okay, we're down into the 50s. It's like fall is basically just came about. Like there was no like, oh yeah, let's just get slightly colder. No, it was just like perfect weather, too cold. It's like now we're in hoodie weather, right? We went from like, you can still wear shorts and stuff, and now it's like, oh, straight into hoodie weather. Like, it's not good. Not good. We should all do a get together. Ghost, we will. When the channel gets bigger, we will. We will. Don't you worry. Sometimes history repeats itself. From the 1860s till the 1900s, Melbourne was a great city until all the nation's big companies went back to Sydney. Yeah, I mean, that's just something that I think as history goes on, I think just there's so many things that can affect a big city. So many things that can affect people as a whole, industry getting bigger. Something that, Tolkien is a big proponent of is how industry is like killing a lot of the world and the natural beauty of it. And I think that really applies really well to big cities. No Canadians, which is weird because I feel like there are a decent amount of Canadians that watch this channel. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Our weather just sucks. Like, it just sucks. Because, and this is the thing, right? Because of how bad our weather is, you get sick so easily. Like, you get sick so easily. It's because you go from, okay, on Friday, right? You still have the AC on, right? You still, and then you go from the next day where it's like you need the heat on. You need, to actually have a lot of clothes on because it's kind of cold outside. It's like, man, it's such, and here's the thing. I know it's coming because every single time it goes from hot to cold in a like very quick amount of time, I always get a sinus infection. I always get it in my ear and I get it in my throat. And I'm worried about that because it's like, if I get it at the wrong time, it's going to be so frustrating because it's like, I'm glad I haven't gotten it today, fingers crossed, or anything this week because I have 2 midterms this week. I think I have another test in another class this week. And I have a ton of content I'm doing. Like, between this channel and the second channel, which, by the way, for anyone that doesn't know, the second channel got renamed to Eric Reviews. I just thought it was better because I'm doing, like, a lot of different topics, and I just found I liked it better. But, yeah, so got that going on. The second channel, I've got a lot of things. I have a lot of projects I want to do. And, the main channel, going to 4 videos a week the last like couple months, so just got a lot on the plate right now, but I do not want to get sick. Canadians rise up. Oh dear. I can deal with the cold. I just hate the snow. Yeah. See, I don't mind. I actually like the cold. My problem is like when it's just our weather patterns are so like sporadic. Like I would rather it just be consistent. Like just be consistent and be cold. If it's going to be cold now, just let it be cold. I don't know. Except Michigan cuts you off from Canada, whereas Canada did your brother. Oh, okay. Okay. We got some things going on here. And Virginia, the temperature doesn't change too quickly, but the weather does. 1 minute it's sunny, then it's a hurricane for 5 minutes, and sunny again, and you would never have known it rains like at all. Well, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, Maz, good luck on your midterms. Mine aren't too bad. Two of mine are basically take home, and then one of them is open notes. So I feel pretty okay about them, but snow in Chicago is terrible. I have heard it's not great. I wouldn't say a friend, but it was someone that I knew in high school that I still had like contact with, and yeah, they kind of talked about that as well. But yeah, all right. Moving on. So it looks like Maester Aemon is going to beat Daemon. I did not expect that. I thought Daemon was going to win, but all right. We have Maester Aemon versus Aegon. Let me zoom out. I think this is too zoomed. Ah, whatever. It'll do. How's this look on stream? Doesn't look great. Let's just do like that. Does that work? Yeah, that'll work. All right, so we have Aegon versus Maester Aemon. This is for the greatest Targaryen of all. We have probably the most impactful one versus one of the best written ones. Who will win out? Maz, that is a fantastic. That's fantastic. Aegon, okay. We'd love to see it. I've never been to Australia, but I'd like to go to Australia. I will say, you know, here's the thing. I don't think I really would want to go to that many places outside of the country. Like, I think Canada would be cool to visit at some point. I want to go to London. That'd be really cool. I want to go to New Zealand to see kind of the Lord of the Rings, you know, spots. That'd be really cool. Outside of that, I don't know. Does Aegon have any scene that moves you like Aemon's speech to Jon? The one thing that I would point to, Andrew, would be his basically everything with Harrenhal. Like how he talks to Black Heron, like that's to me what I would be looking at. Like, come nightfall, you're going to die. All of you are going to die. That would be the one I'd point to. London would be cool. Oh, Italy would also be cool. That would be really cool as well. But also, Maz, maybe in the future, I'll implement some music. London is good, but don't go anywhere near South London. Okay. Listen, I've heard about the spiders in Australia. It's a no from me. See, I don't have a problem with spiders. I have a big problem with snakes. Like, I hate snakes with a passion. I do not think snakes should exist. The only good snake is a dead snake. I see all these people that are like, oh, they have snakes on their arms and all this. And I'm like, no, kill it. Kill it. I don't care how we kill it. We kill it with fire, kill it with an axe, shotgun it. No, snakes are bad. No, just bad. There is the fantastic quote that I was thinking of, Ghost. I appreciate that. I got the message. You don't got to retract it. There we go. I've always wanted to go to Italy or France. Yeah, that'd be cool. The one thing I'd really like to see if I went to France would be some of the battlefields from World War I and World War II, because I know it's still like visible. Like you can still see the damage done from those wars. That'd be something really cool to go to. Spain and Singapore. Yeah, those would be cool as well. Snakes are unnatural. They move but don't have limbs. Yeah, they just are not right. They're just not. I don't know. They're not great. They're not great. What's the vote looking like right now? Aegon is winning. Okay. All right. I like that. I like that. But yeah, no, snake or not. Yeah, snakes. I just can't deal with them. I can't. I've had too many bad experiences. Like I've had two different experiences of when I was running at the park back when I started getting like in shape and stuff. And I had two different encounters where they weren't. So I was basically going on like a second or third lap, and all of a sudden, like, they hadn't been there in the lap like before. They get in the paths. And this happens now. It doesn't happen anymore because they reconstructed the path, so it's better now. But back then, these snakes would hide on the edge of like there'd be bridges that you'd have to cross, and there'd be like a little stream. They would hide right under like where your foot would step onto the bridge. You know, like how you would, like, I don't know what you would call it, but how it's like landed on there. And they would hide underneath it. And so this snake decides, let me stand in the middle of the bridge. So I had to jump over the snake because I'm running. I can't just stop like just like that. And so that scared me half to death. I had that happen a second time. I stopped going to the park because of snakes. So yeah, and that happened a second time. Yeah, I don't know. Fair enough, Joel. The whole country is deadly. Even the bladder are poisonous, and don't even get me started on the, oh boy. Oh boy. I'm not sure what's worse for Australia, the crocs or the sharks. I would rather not be eaten while swimming. That is something that, okay, so when I was younger, I had very dark dreams. I don't know why. Like, I would have dreams when I was younger of dying to like a T-Rex. I had this one dream that like actually scarred me for a while, like trying to sleep. I was like in this swimming pool. And again, this is when I was a lot younger. Like, I'm talking like 10 years old. And for some reason, there was a shark in this swimming pool. And I couldn't get out of the swimming pool. And it literally, the shark like bit my leg and just dragged me down, okay? And it basically felt like a movie because it's like my eyes, like they faded into black and then I woke up. Like, that stuff just bothers me. Who in Lord of the Rings would you want to see sitting in the Iron Thrones? That's a tough one. Hold on. I think Faramir. I think I would let Faramir sit on the Iron Throne. He's a very wise, and again, I'm talking book Faramir. I'm talking about movie Faramir. It's a whole different topic. I think book Faramir. He's an extremely wise person. Now, I would be interested to see how you would deal with like corruption and things of that nature, but Faramir is the one that comes to mind right off the bat. I would have died. I hate snakes so much. I actually swam with one at a lake. It was, dude, that I can't. I just can't. Like, like the second time when I had to jump over the snake because it was literally in the middle of the path and I couldn't stop. I genuinely, like, my heart, like, I thought it was gonna give out because I'm like, so I stopped after I jumped over and I look back and I was just like this. I was like this. Like, oh, God, I just can't take them. I can't. Same. I had a dream that a purple T-Rex chased me down my road by my house. That's not great. It's not great. And yeah, so another thing, when I was like 5, I went to Disney World and I didn't want to go on this Jurassic Park ride because obviously big dinosaur's scary for a 5-year-old. But my dad and my grandpa and my uncle were like, no, you got to go in. So I went in and I from a young age, there's very few moments that I remember like pure terror. I just remember pure terror. Like, I'm this little kid and there's like T-Rexes like that just come and they come at you, okay? And I'm just like, I tell you, that is what inspired some of my worst dreams. It was that ride in Disney World. Also, Disney World was so much cooler when I was 5. I know it's like because, oh, when you're 5, everything's bigger and stuff, but it was just so much cooler when I was 5. Everything was better when I was 5. I went back to Disney World and like when I was like 18, it wasn't the same. It was not even close to the same. I had to secretly get rid of a snake that was in my house in the middle of the night because my mom had an irrational fear of them. She will stop watching a movie if a snake is in it for even a second. Okay, I'm not that bad, Violet. But like, if there was a snake in my house, I'll tell you what I would do if there was a snake in my house. Give me a sec. This would happen to the snake. Okay, I'm gonna stand fair away. I'm gonna swing hard, and he's gonna die. Okay, there's gonna be no hesitation. He will be put down. I had a python around. What? Why? Why would you do that? Y'all are silly. I just don't understand. Why would you do that? You won't find bears in New York or wolves in LA by the same logic. No, I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. I can't hate on that. All right. It would appear that we have our winner. Aegon Targaryen, the conqueror himself, has conquered the Targaryen bracket. This has been a long time coming. And I gotta say, this doesn't surprise me. I wouldn't have, this would not have been my selection, but that's because I have a personal bias. But I think you guys did good. I think I don't have any major upsets except for, you know, I mean, let's go back here and let's just find this one. That one was not so good. This one, not so good. But, you know, you guys did pretty good. Now, I can't hate on it too much. This isn't, like, outrageous, right? This isn't like the A Song of Ice and Fire bracket where Sansa somehow beats Stannis. You know, it's not that bad. You know, it's pretty solid. I think it's respectable. But yeah. So, thank you for everyone that's come along on this journey of, you know, finding out who the best Targaryens are, people that have participated in these. This is like basically 7 hours worth of content to get to this point. So, yeah, I don't know. Ghost, I remember my teacher in grammar school had a pet snake in, nope. I'm reporting the teacher. I am reporting the teacher 110%. If there was a snake in my class, I'm going up to, I don't know, the principal, whoever, and be like, nope, I'm out the class. You need to put me somewhere else. Hey, it is a little boring and generic, but sometimes that's not the bad thing, because that means we got it right. You know, it wasn't anything crazy. The Beggar King is objectively the best. I don't know about that. How did Sansa win that? Well, because I didn't really do it right. I used like a Google form so that you guys could fill out like every single round at once, right? So it wasn't like this. I wasn't putting it in the YouTube chat. So people were basically abusing it and just like hitting submit, back submit, and it would actually count it. So that's how. That's how. But yeah, thank you guys all for watching the live stream, for everybody that joined. I appreciate you all as well. We had a bit longer of a live stream this time. Especially probably the longest live stream I've done in a while. A good hour and a half. And I hope you all have a fantastic night or day or whatever time you are in right now. And I'm going to watch some football and hope that Matthew's team gets absolutely